What's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan, and welcome to today's edition of All Elite Review, where today we're going to be reviewing the episode of Dynamite from this past Wednesday, July the 29th, 2020. But before I get started with this review, Excalibur was not on commentary this week, and I'm guessing that AEW kept him off of TV this week because apparently a video surfaced in the past week or so of him uttering a racial slur. Now, at first you're kind of like, ooh, that's not exactly a good thing, because I remember back to the Kyle Larson situation, when he uttered a racial slur during a live stream, and of course, it was kind of a bad look, and sponsors and all that stuff distanced themselves from him, and he basically got released by Chip Ganassi Racing. So, probably thinking, well, was there something of the same extent for Excalibur? Because, saying a racial slur is kind of a no-no thing, in my opinion. The thing is, this was a video clip of him cutting a heel promo with Kevin Owens, back then known as Kevin Steen, from 17 years ago. Are you fucking kidding me? So apparently, someone has way too much fucking time on their hands and decided, I guess this person just didn't like Excalibur being on commentary, so they just decided to take the time and effort to dig through his past and dig up a video. It's like, hey, you said a racial slur. Fuck off. To the person who actually did that, you can fuck yourself. Because that is, you have literally nothing better to do with your time than to try to ruin someone's career over something that happened nearly 2 fucking decades ago. If you would take 2 seconds, do you fucking realize how fucking stupid that is? This is how humanity is in 2020. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that he apologized for said promo years after that. So why the fuck is this coming up now? Fucking stupid. But to the person who leaked that, who brought that footage back up and basically caused Excalibur to be off of television this week, fuck you. Seriously. Fuck you. Fucking stupid. Getting all fucking butthurt over the dumbest shit. Seriously. Anywho, let's go ahead and get to this fucking review. Now that I got that off my chest. Maybe, if my fucking washer doesn't stop rocking and rolling, which is probably going to be doing for too long. The first match was a 10-man tag, Inner Circle against the Best Friends and Friends, so it was a 5-on-5. A lot of people didn't really like this match. I thought it was okay. For what it was alright. Yeah, it was pretty messy at times, but, for what it was alright. Had an all-out brawl at the start. Luchasaurus' mask was actually starting to fall off a little bit after he had an exchange with Jake Hager, and it was actually starting to come loose, so he had to take the time to kind of readjust it and stuff. There was a lot of tandem offense in this match as well, but at the end of the day, Matt Hardy comes in and interferes and costs the Inner Circle the match. By pushing Sammy off the top rope because he was getting ready to do a top rope move. And he pushed Sammy off into the waiting clutches of Luchasaurus, who hit a choke slam and then hit his running tornado kick and got the 3 count and the victory for his team. So the Inner Circle actually loses, although it was due to interference. So we're obviously going to see a reigniting of the feud between Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara. I gave this match 3 stars out of 5. For what it was alright. So John Moxley calls out both Cage and Starks for attacking Darby Allin the previous week, and then Taz on commentary was like, "Yeah, John Moxley's afraid," and fucking JR and Tony Schiavone were kind of giving each other looks like, "What the fuck is he on?" You know what I mean? And then the next match was, of course, the TNT Championship match for the TNT title open challenge. Cody this time was going up against Warhorse, who I didn't really know all that much about, but apparently one of his taglines is that he rules ass. He's kind of like I don't really know how to describe him. He's kind of like a Native American type character who loves heavy metal. I like this guy already. But we had some nice hard-hitting moves at the beginning of the match. Cody hit a nice superplex. He started working on the leg, of course. Put in a figure 4 leg lock where Warhorse reversed the hold. Had some nice double stomps. And he also hit a nice-looking dynamic elbow drop. Very reminiscent of what the Macho Man used to do. And got a very close 2 count. But Cody would end up going over, of course, by getting a figure 4 leg lock for the submission victory. I gave this match 3.5 stars out of 5. I would like to see more of Warhorse, honestly. Then the Dark Order comes out, more specifically the Beaver Boys of the Dark Order come out to attack both Warhorse and Cody. And then out comes the former Zack Ryder, now going by his new name, Matt Cardona. And basically attacks both of the Beaver Boys and hits his what was formerly known as the Rough Rider, that jumping leg lariat, or an inverted famouser, whichever you want to call it, and basically helped his best bud out, Cody. And of course the two embraced outside the ring. I mean, the two are just like, they're like this, they're like blood brothers. And the two of them are actually going to be in a tag match next week against the Beaver Boys, so that'll be an interesting match to watch. Then the Inner Circle comes back out with Tony Schiavone up on the stage with the microphone, and they basically in the angrily challenge Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy. Jericho in particular says that he's going to have a rematch with Orange Cassidy in a couple weeks, and then this coming Wednesday on Dynamite he's going to have a debate with Orange Cassidy, which will be pretty interesting, with a special guest moderator. And there are a lot of rumors flying around that special guest moderator might be Eric Bischoff. That would certainly be interesting, to say the least. And then we have a backstage segment where FTR officially signs contracts with AEW, so now they are officially All Elite. And they also had a few caveats to it, whereas in their contract they specifically state that the tag team roles are strictly enforced on their end, which I thought was kind of interesting. And also, on the August 12th edition, which is not this coming week, but the next week, they want it to be a tag team appreciation show with them as the special guest hosts. Okay. And then of course during this, Arn Anderson comes in and kind of moderates with them and shit. And then you have Hangman coming in to celebrate with them with some alcohol, some whiskey. Of course, he pours himself like a big old shot glass full. So there's that. So kind of a big tease for a new version of the Four Horsemen, especially with Arn Anderson there. But next up, we have the AEW Tag Team Championship match between the Dark Order and the Omega Cowboys. This was one of them matches where you really didn't know who was going to win because both teams were undefeated coming in. Dark Order was 8-0, and the Omega Cowboys were 10-0 coming in. So it's like, who the fuck is going to lose this match? So Page tries to start the match before Omega even gets to the ring. He's trying to do his entrance, and he kind of looks up and sees Page trying to go at both members of the Dark Order, and he comes out and he's like, what are you doing, man? But still some great tandem offense by Omega and Page. And also, Brody Lee comes out as well as Cole Cabana, and they're on commentary. And apparently Anna Jay has joined the Dark Order because she was out there as well, and she had on her own mask and shit like that. But not like the hoodie type mask you would see with the others. Hers was more of a kind of like the bunny was earlier this year with Ali in that sense. But it's a great double team offense by Dark Order. Of course, they have some great double team offense as well. Uno had a nice swanton bomb on Omega for a 2 count. Dark Order do their get over here spot in the 450 senton splash combo for a 2 count. A back and forth battle with move and counter move. It looked like Dark Order was going to go for their fatality finisher, but it was countered, and the Omega Cowboys hit their last call finisher on Uno for the 3 count and the victory. I gave this match 3.25 stars out of 5. Afterwards, Brody Lee, of course, admonished both Uno and Stu Grayson. He hit Uno in the head with his roll of papers, which has been kind of a running gag on being the Elite. And then he kind of throttled Stu Grayson a little bit, and Grayson didn't look like he appreciated that. So might be a little bit of dissension in the Dark Order at this point. And this entire time, Page is just laughing his ass off. And Brody Lee actually notices this, and it's like, oh, so you think that's funny? I'm paraphrasing. You've pissed me off for the last time. And then the Young Bucks, who are actually in the crowd, they come out to the ring from the crowd, and then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of Dark Order minions come out as well. And then from out of nowhere comes FTR with another cooler full of beer and ice and smash it over Brody Lee. And then you have FTR, the Young Bucks, and Omega and Page just fighting off all the members of the Dark Order. And then it cuts to Brody Lee just laughing on the stage like, yeah, you might have won this one, but we'll get one eventually. And now we have a 12-man tag match booked for this coming Wednesday between the Dark Order and the Elite and FTR. The 10-man tag was a little bit of a mess, but we'll have to wait and see how this whole 12-man tag is going to go. It'll be interesting to say the least. Then you have Britt Baker cutting a promo on Big Swole, saying that Big Swole's been obsessed with her for a while now, and says that she'll agree to a match with Big Swole if she beats an opponent of Britt Baker's choosing. So there's that. Then we have our women's match, which was Hikaru Shida against Diamante. This match was... it was eh. I mean, I'm just going to be completely honest here. It should have been Ivelisse in this spot instead of Diamante. I'm sorry. I know Diamante went over Ivelisse the previous week, but I think it was the wrong person who went over. I mean, Diamante, I think, has some potential, but she's not there yet. Ivelisse was the better option, so I think that was a mistake on AEW's part to put Diamante against Shida instead of Ivelisse. I think we would have gotten a better match in this case. Because a lot of this was just strikes and hard hitting, which, I mean, to their credit, they're showing intensity, which, is sorely needed in the women's division right now. But there wasn't really much as far as wrestling. I mean, Diamante did hit a nice wheelbarrow stunner for a 2 count, but Shida hit her Falcon Arrow for a 2 count, and then hit her 3 count E-strike for the 3 count and the win. And let's be honest here, Shida was not losing this match. She's the champion, you know what I mean? So I gave this match 2.5 stars out of 5. And then we got the rules for the Women's Tag Team Cup. It's a random draw between all 16 women. Wrestlers draw colors, and matching colors form a team, and there cannot be any appeals. We already knew that the Nightmare Sisters of Ali and Brandy Rhodes were already going to be teaming together. But then we learned that that Nyla Rose was going to be in the tournament, and her tag team partner is actually Ariana. And at first I'm kind of like, who the fuck is Ariana? And she kind of comes out, and it took me like a couple seconds to recognize who it was. It's Cameron from the WWE. The Funkadactyls, all that shit. Kind of an interesting choice there. And Nyla Rose was, of course, didn't look like she was all that pleased. But, there were a lot of people that are kind of wondering, why is Ariana getting this opportunity? But I mean, this is just a tag team cup. This is kind of like a, I guess you could say a proving ground maybe for the women, and I think it's a good idea to try to bring some more women in to kind of evaluate them and see, who would be a perfect fit for the women's division. Although, I can already think of a few, especially one that was on last week, Eve Elise. But my biggest fear for this tournament, though, is that this is just going to be something to get Allie and Brandy Rhodes over. And just no. Brandy Rhodes sucks as a wrestler. Allie, I mean, she's decent, but, I don't really think she's that good. I don't like I just don't like the prospect of the Nightmare Sisters, this tournament being, put together just to put the Nightmare Sisters over. I don't like that. Well, my washer really wants to rock and roll, doesn't it? And then MJF comes out for his State of the Industry address, kind of like what a politician does, and my God. If there's one thing, I mean, to be honest, the wrestling on this show left a little bit to be desired. I mean, it wasn't as crisp and clean as we've seen in the past couple of weeks, but the promo work, my God, the promo work has been excellent. Especially this show. I mean, this was probably the best show we've seen yet as far as promo work goes. I mean, it was excellent. And MJF was certainly the epitome of that. I mean, with this State of the Industry address, and he was basically setting this. I mean, nothing I say here is going to do this justice. I mean, it's all. I think it's on AEW's YouTube channel now. Just go and watch it. I mean, and it's just he's just so good at portraying the heel character that he is. But basically, he did what we were expecting him to do, and that was set the stage for a showdown with Jon Moxley at All Out for the AEW World Championship. And they're I don't think they're going to plan on having MJF lose anytime soon. At least not be pinned or made to submit by anybody for a while. Probably at least until crowds are back and we get like a huge ass crowd reaction. I'm pretty sure they're holding out for that. Much like they're probably going to hold out for the inevitable Young Bucks FTR collision. You know what I mean? But yeah, basically. The stage has been set for Jon Moxley and MJF at All Out. So that's going to be pretty interesting, to say the least. Speaking of Jon Moxley, the main event was a no disqualification tornado tag match. I love me some tornado tag matches, and this one was definitely, in my opinion, the best match of the night. Darby Allin doesn't show up for his entrance, as you remember the previous week. Ricky Starks kind of attacked Darby from behind a little bit too enthusiastically, and he kind of bounced Darby Allin off the ropes, might have given him a slight concussion. And then they were backstage right before, right near the entrance tunnel. Taz, was talking about Cage's muscles, and all this shit, and Starks basically talks trash about Darby Allin, and Starks can talk as well. I mean, not only is he a big prospect, and he's probably going to do great things for AEW in the future, but he's also a pretty good talker as well. So, I mean, like I said, the promo work tonight was pretty damn good. But as it turned out, Darby Allin had laid a trap for Starks and Cage because he hit him with a coffin drop from the top of the entrance tube onto them. And Moxley goes out to join him and help him out. He starts bringing out the weapons. It looked like they were going to do some kind of a double team move with a trash can on Cage, but it starts with a nice spear on Darby Allin on the apron. Cage hit a nice front power slam, powerbomb combo on Moxley and Allin. He basically had Moxley in the power slam position. Allin tried to jump in with like a kind of a Rey Mysterio move, but gets caught and he gets hit with a powerbomb while he's on top of Moxley. But then we have a great little exchange where all four wrestlers basically do moves to each other. Allin hit a nice shoulder ride stunner on Brian Cage, and then Starks comes in with another spear on Allen. Then Moxley comes in and hits a nice cutter on Ricky Starks. Don't remember the last time I seen John Moxley use a cutter. And then Cage comes in with his discus lariat, which always looks really nice. I've seen him use that discus lariat before, and it looks pretty brutal. But Cage tries to go for another discus lariat, but Moxley counters with a German suplex. And then a nice looking pile driver on Cage, only got a 2 count. Cage and Starks hit a double Alabama slam onto a trash can on Moxley for 2 count. And then Moxley and Allen kind of do a paradigm shift coffin drop combo on Cage, but only gets a 2 count. But the finish of this match, holy shit. Darby Allin brings out a skateboard that doesn't have the wheels, but has thumbtacks glued to the bottom. We saw something like this last year at All Out during that Cracker Barrel clash they had with Jimmy Havoc and Joey Janela. Cage tries to stop him, but Moxley comes sliding in with a nice lock-in with an armbar. And I'm pretty sure this was Starks kind of giving an apology, I guess you could say, to Darby Allin for his over-enthusiastic attack last week. So it's like, yeah, I fucked up. So, you know, I'm not saying that this is actually what happened, but, you know, I know how some wrestlers go. Like, if they fuck up, it's like, I'm sorry, you know, I want to do something to make it up to you. So I don't know if that's what was actually the case, but if it was, man, good on Starks for this spot, because Darby hits an ollie with the skateboard with the thumbtacks onto Starks' back, and it fucking just tore scratches in his back. Thumbtacks left in his back. He was bloodied. That was a pretty fucking brutal spot, but a great way to end a main event, I'll tell you that much. And they got the 3 count and the victory. So your winners are Darby Allin and John Moxley. I gave this match 4 stars out of 5, and then after the match, Darby was kind of looking at the AEW Championship, and then we get the announcement that this coming Wednesday night's main event is going to be John Moxley versus Darby Allin for the AEW World Championship. Now, obviously, Darby Allin's not going to win that match, probably due to interference from Ricky Starks or Brian Cage, one or the other. And of course, you know, we've already set the stage for John Moxley against MJF come September the 5th, which is still about a month away. So, you know, there's no way Allen's winning this match, but I mean, this is still going to be, I think, a banger of a match to watch, especially when you consider the match those two had at the end of last year. And of course, that finish to that match where Moxley basically super duper death ridered Allen all the way to hell at the end of that match. Whew. We might see something similar this coming Wednesday night. But my final rating for this show, it was another easily watchable show. The wrestling kind of dipped in quality a little bit, but the promo work was fucking excellent. And, you know, they progressed storylines as per the usual. And basically getting ready to set the stage for All Out on September the 5th. So my final rating for the show, 6.5 out of 10. You know, which seems to be the norm for AEW right now, which, you know, is fine with me. But that's going to do it for this edition of All Elite Review. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out. See you later.
You better like and subscribe or face the consequences. You have been warned.